There are still a lot of open questions about where the Democrats go from here. Here are the 5 biggest questions at the moment. How is the process going to work? Well, the Democratic National Committee had been preparing to hold a virtual roll call vote to officially pick the nominee, starting as early as the middle of next week. But now those plans, which were expected to be finalized and approved by this Friday, are in flux. In a statement after Biden's announcement, the DNC chair has promised that the party will undertake a transparent and orderly process to pick the nominee without offering specifics. The other question is, will anyone else challenge Kamala Harris? Well, Biden's endorsement of his vice president could very well cut off any real opposition, leaving the Democratic Party's bench looking towards 2028 and beyond instead of throwing their hats into the ring. Still, many are wondering about governors like Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan and J.B. Pritzker of Illinois. The other question is, will the rest of the party get in line? Well, even if most of the other would-be hopefuls decide not to run, that doesn't mean the rest of the party will be unanimously behind Kamala Harris. Throughout the past few weeks, in fact, some Democrats, from elected officials to big donors, have fretted about Harris's low favorability ratings throughout her time as vice president. Kamala Harris, by the way, even nodded to the need to earn and win the nomination in her statement, an acknowledgement that a competition, not a coronation, puts her in the best position going into the general election. Now, while pollsters have only started to ask voters whom they would support between Harris and Donald Trump, let alone other possible candidates across recent polls, Harris actually trails Trump by 2 percentage points nationally on average. That's 46% to 48%. This is an improvement over Joe Biden's standing in the race because he trailed Trump by 3 percentage points in the polling average, 47% to 44%. The last big question, when are we likely to see new polls? Well, maybe soon, but Politico highlights that there's a catch because it is common for pollsters to actually go into the field following big set pieces in the campaign, like a major party's national convention as we saw in Milwaukee. So many people have probably spent the weekend interviewing voters, but experts also argue that won't necessarily be out of date just because of Biden's announcement. Kamala Harris has already made history by becoming the first black and female vice president in US history, but she has faced concerns over whether she can defeat Donald Trump. Now, the coming days will show if Kamala Harris will indeed be embraced by her party and chosen as the candidate at their Democratic National Convention in August.